Hey folks, it's Rick. So we just picked up the Volkswagen Beetle from getting fixed, 36 bucks. That's not too bad. A little wire going to the starter. But hey, we're gonna go and look at some outdoor ornaments at this outdoor ornament store down here that we've been wanting to go to. My dearest wife and I. My dear heart. And it's right up here. So, more to come after we pull in here. This place is interesting. Look at this. All kinds of different outdoor ornaments. I know we're going to end up spending money here. All right, here we go. Oh, I like that thing. A chimenea.
It looks like a Mayan.
Oh, it's a fish chimenea. Hello, pig. You're too big for our yard. I'm vlogging. Oh, look. Hi.
How are you?
Hi, guys. That's cool. Oh, look, benches. Look at that. This place is like an amusement park. Open your window. Open your window. To show our haul. Look what we got.
Wait.
Isn't that nice? Very nice. Okay, thanks. Bye. And I'm getting quesadillas from Taco Shelly's. Nice. What a wonderful lunch outing. So that was fun. Down here buying the lawn ornaments. So they're made in Arizona and some in Mexico. And they bring them up here and they paint them and then they sell them. And then I went to Shelly's, Taco Shelly's. Get some taco and some quesadilla. Here, southwestern Pennsylvania, it's a hot, muggy day. But that's okay. It's gonna thunderstorm a little later. And then the weekend's supposed to be super nice. I've got to learn songs for my church gig. It's not really a gig. It's just going to church and playing. But it's a lot of fun. So it's like a gospel church meets contemporary church. They pride themselves on being a multicultural church, which is nice. I like to go there. Oh, I said I wanted to discuss my father a little. So before I was born, he learned to play the saxophone in high school. And then he went into the service In the Korean War, he was a air traffic controller for the Air Force. But he never went overseas. He was just in, he was in Biloxi, Mississippi. He was in Spokane, Washington. And then he came out, and I know that he worked in a steel mill, and he was a taxi driver. But at the same time, he went to Duquesne University, like I did. So he got a music education degree in clarinet. And then he went back for a master's degree in oboe. And then he taught oboe, also for Duquesne University in the 60s. And then during the 60s, he married my mom. I believe it was in 1960. They promptly had, my oldest brother Steve, and then a year or two later they had my next oldest brother Dan, and a year or two later they had my next up brother Joe. So there's the three of them, and then a few years later, 1969, they had me. But prior to that, he opened his music store. And so he was a musician and a teacher and owner of a music store, which I believe his music store did very well during the 60s. He used to say, the Beatles, I love the Beatles. They made me a lot of money in the 60s. I think he did that until around 1974, 75. He used to play at a place called the Holiday House here in Pittsburgh, and that was where a lot of national acts would come to play. It was like a nightclub. It wasn't really a bar. It was a place you would go, and there were nice tables, and you would eat, and you would watch, a national act. And so he played there for some big national acts. He played for the Four Tops and for the Temptations and for Engelbert Humperdinck, and he played for Tony Bennett. So one of the stories my mom still likes to tell is that she went to see Tony Bennett there, and when the show was over, he came out and he said, "Hey, I want you to come backstage and meet somebody." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And she figured, she's meeting one of his friends in the band, and he took her backstage and said, "Tony, I would like you to meet my wife." And so my mom got to meet Tony Bennett, and she was floored by this because it was one of her very, very favorite artists. And so I know that she loved that day because she still tells the story. Anyway, and then growing up, I used to find these records in his record collection. Melissa Manchester, Johnny Mathis. And Johnny Mathis record was signed to Steve, blah, 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 Johnny Mathis. So that was pretty interesting. He played for these people, and they would sign things and give them to him. And during that time, he would get gigs for the Ice Capades, and he would get gigs for the circus. And I remember every year we would play the circus. Well, he would play the circus for the Shriners, the Shrine Circus. And we would all pile into the car and drive down to Virginia Beach, Virginia, with all his buddy musicians. And they would play the circus, and we would hang out on the beach for a week. And that was our vacation. We did it a couple times. I remember my brothers and I got to ride elephants in the parade, and that was really neat. And then in 1978, I believe, or 79, he got a call. I remember I was right there in the house. He got a call, and he was talking on the phone, but he came running in the room after the call. Not running, as much as my father would run. He came hurrying into the room, and he said, "I'm going to South America." Here, the Tom Jones tour was looking for a new musician, and he had gotten a recommendation from one of his musicians friends, and they recommended him. And so my father spent, I believe, the next 9 years touring with the Tom Jones Band, playing baritone sax, oboe. He might have played clarinet also, but he played all those reed instruments. Here we are back home. We're gonna go inside and eat this Mexican food. I hope it's good. I remember he came home when the first Sony Walkmans came out, and he had gotten a Sony Walkman, and we were so psyched. Like, everybody was fighting over who was going to put on the headphones because we thought it sounded so great. He went to Australia and New Zealand. He said New Zealand was the best kept secret in the world. He said it was beautiful. He said every kind of topology you could think of was there. Mountains and desert and beaches, and he said it was just gorgeous. So really neat. Sometimes I wish we could have gone with him. But really what ended up happening was that every year our vacation, instead of going to the Shrine Circus in Virginia, every year our vacation was, what is the closest Tom Jones concert to home? And we'll drive there and see the concert and stay in the hotel room with him. So I remember first time we went to Columbus, big deal. But my brother Joe and we got to watch the Tom Jones show in Columbus, and I was probably 12. That was fun. And then we got to go to Atlantic City, New Jersey, 2 years in a row. And my cousin Maria came, and we had a lot of fun. My aunt, we would see the show every night. Maria and I would go to the beach every day, walk up and down the boardwalk, go to the swimming pool. And that's when I was 13 and 14. When I was 15, we went to Hyannisport, which was very fancy, but it was nice. Did that for a long time, and then he suffered some hearing loss, and he stopped touring at that point. So he lost his hearing in one ear and had very bad tinnitus, and so it was difficult for him to perform anymore. So he pretty much retired after that. But he got to spend a lot of time at home with his family after that, so that was very good. All right, there's my vlog for the day, my vlog. Hope you all have a good day. Hope you didn't mind listening to me babble on and babble on. So, peace to you. See you tomorrow for number 17. This was 16.